It can't be that bad, oh, 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 it can't be that bad. Baddies, we have a very special guest in the room right now.
Yep.
I think we've been doing a fantastic job with not really touching each other because you know what's going on in the world.
6 feet, guys, 6 feet.
6 feet.
Yeah, we're at least 6 feet apart.
I think so. It might be a little misconstrued, but that's okay.
It's like 6 actual feet, right? Like the feet on the bottom of your legs. Like that's how many
That's
feet,
how you're
right?
supposed to measure?
Yeah. That's
Well,
those feet, right? 6 of those.
6 of those, and you'll be just fine.
Perfect.
Do you want to tell the listeners out there what you do for us? Who you are?
What do you do for us?
What do you do for us?
I lighten up your lives.
Yeah. Yeah, you do.
That's not it. No.
You're the wind, the wind beneath our wings.
The wind beneath your wings. Well, I'm Nick Lowe. I'm sure you've heard Alejandro refer to me a couple of times.
Nick Lowe,
usually
short
when
for
I try to make
Nickelodeon.
him feel like an idiot.
No, never.
Oh, you do a great job of that.
So good at
I
it.
applaud you for that because we need more people in the world to make him feel like an idiot.
Yeah. I'm the corrections department.
Yes, the corrections department.
Yeah, so I listen to all of the podcasts, and if they say something that sounds not right, I basically just Google it and tell them that they're wrong.
And who's mostly wrong?
It's usually Alejandro, but in Alejandro's defense, he does a lot more talking.
He does.
And I'm like 80% right usually with my facts, even if
Yeah.
I'm off by a little bit.
His Alejandro facts are usually 80% right.
It's a high statistic. I'd go so far to say 70.
No, you're the one who looks them up.
70.
I am.
Well, do you want to...
Actually, even the last 3 podcasts, I think, I haven't sent you guys any notes.
Because I'm always right.
No, you're not all... You just said you weren't always right.
I'm
80%.
mostly right. Mostly right.
I guess. But then you also do a lot of the talking because you like to say, do you want to hear about the history of Poland real quick?
Okay,
And then
okay,
it's just me in the room, and like I'm trying to object, but I'm also very supportive because this is a two-man
movie has
podcast.
14 Academy Award winners. That's not right.
That's not right. Yeah, man.
Pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that's right.
What's up, dude? How you feeling?
Can you move that light 3 inches towards Christian? There you go, because it's just in the shot of this camera and it's messing it all up. But now it looks great. I'm ready to go. Do we want to talk about this movie now?
I would love to talk about this movie.
Well, how about we welcome the baddies? We haven't welcomed the baddies in yet.
All right, let's welcome them.
Okay, we're
All right.
37 minutes in, and we'll welcome them. Well, how about we all take one welcome?
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good.
Welcome.
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 Thank you, guys. That was beautiful, like a choir.
Welcome to another episode of
ICBTB
Podcast.
Podcast.
I like you. You say it full out with us.
Of course.
What is this, Christian?
This is a movie podcast where we defend critically condemned movies because...
I think even the worst films can still be good. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's
because
right.
it can't be that bad.
You know what? Some of them can be.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Before we move on, Nick Lowe, if I could tell you to speak right into this. You did say earlier, how should I speak into this
Yes.
mic? And you answered it yourself. You said it should be like sucking a dick.
Like sucking a dick.
And we all know how that is. Not me.
Especially Alejandro.
Alejandro
that's
would
not fair.
know.
You guys said that while I was taking a drink, so I couldn't defend myself. That's not fair.
But you have said that on this podcast before.
I don't believe so. I'm not affiliated
you're not a dick sucker?
or, you know,
You're not a giver?
honestly.
Just a taker.
Honestly,
You seem like a
here-
taker.
Will you let me fucking talk? Or is the whole episode going to be you two gangbanging up on me?
Ooh.
You call it gang banging.
Don't threaten me
that's
with
what
a
it's
good
called.
time.
So here's what I'm thinking, guys. Just wieners are gross. So the movie we watched was...
You have a point.
Thank you. The movie we watched was...
Drop Dead Fred.
Which is... Nick Lowe has been telling us to do this movie since we started the podcast.
Yes.
It's her favorite movie.
It's my all-time favorite movie.
I think that says a lot about you as a person.
You did
and
say
I do
that
feel
you've-
bad for you.
You've seen this how many times now?
At least 200.
At least 200, and that's not a fictitious number, right?
No. Yeah, at least 200. This
Fuck.
has been my favorite movie since my sophomore year in high school, and that was in 2003.
And how did you come across it? Like, you just were flipping through the channels? Or
No,
you-
actually, it was my high school boyfriend's favorite movie. He
Shout out high school boyfriend.
shout out Steve Short.
Wait, no, we
No,
cannot
but-
gloss
we can't.
past that.
Maybe we shouldn't. We'll bleep that out. We shouldn't say his first and last name.
He's dead, so it doesn't
Whoa.
matter.
You said Too Short, like the rapper?
No,
Steve
no.
Short.
Oh my gosh. That's why I was
No.
like, what the heck? I thought you said Too short. Well,
No, Steve Short. Too short would have been better.
Is there any more? I mean, so you.
Oh, it was his favorite movie, and he showed it to me. He was just like, I think this is something that you'll really like. It might hit home with you. So I think you'll really like it. I do. I have so many invisible friends.
Did you literally have one?
No, I didn't have imaginary friends, but I was a lonely kid growing up, and he knew that. I was an only child for the first 10 years of my life. It was just me and my mom for almost all of that time. And we were constantly moving around. My mom was working multiple jobs always, so I was really lonely. And I was also the only kid in my family for like the first 10 years. So I'm 10 years older than everybody in my family, at least. So he was just like, I think you would just really like this. And I did. It like super hit home for me.
Did you have like a really did you have a really punched up imagination from being an only child for such a long time, would you say?
Would you say that your social skills were lackluster than everyone else's?
Yeah. I am socially awkward. I don't know how to interact with a lot of people appropriately. I think I get too comfortable too quickly with people.
Gross.
And I tend to just kind of like, not overshare, but just like be myself too soon and not.
But I think that's such a good thing.
It is and it isn't though, because like you don't have like the fallback of like, well, if they don't like me, it's because they don't really know me. It's like, you know me from like the moment that I meet you, because it's just.
That's why you should lie to everybody, guys.
lie to everyone.
No, I'd rather someone not be my friend because they know me so well, rather than someone not be my friend because they didn't get a good enough chance to get to know me.
I don't know. I'd rather manipulate the situation in my own.
Of course.
I had an invisible friend. My invisible friend's name was Max, and he used to hang out with me from like kindergarten all the way through till about freshman year of high school. Max would be there with me when
Shenanigans.
Okay, fine. I still talk to him every once in a while, but actually, in all honesty, sometimes like when I have thoughts to myself and I have to talk myself through it, I imagine it's Max who's talking to me and like talking me through things.
You think that's your persona when you hit on girls? It's actually Max?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Because you turn into a totally different person.
You are a completely different person.
Because like I just said, I like to manipulate relationships until they're in my favor. So.
And how's that work? Does it usually go into your favor? Because I've seen it.
Hey, you know what? 3 out of 10, baby.
I've had some people at parties come up to me and be like, "What's this guy's deal?"
Be like, I don't really know.
I'm like, I don't know. I'm not.
You'd be like, which guy? Oh, that guy? Oh, yeah. Who knows?
I don't know him.
We watched the movie. We watched Drop Dead Fred. It was released in 1991, which is a palindrome. It was rated PG-13 and has a runtime of 1 hour 43 minutes, or for Melissa, 103 minutes. It's 5.9 on the International Movie Database, or IMDb, for those of us who like shortened words. And it's also got a whopping 9% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's fucking low. A single digit?
It gets a quarter for Metacritic.
Wow, that's low for Metacritic.
It's low, bro.
Yeah.
Nikki probably did some studying, so she might know the answer to this question. But Christian, do you know what percentage of Google users approved of this film?
75%.
Do you know, Nikki?
I do. I know the answer.
You want to tell them the truth?
It's 89%.
89. So,
yeah.
Would you say that this is considered a cult classic by any means?
It is. I know for a fact because when you Google it, that's the first thing that comes up.
Yeah, I would think so. Like, it's weird because it's like such a like, I don't know what the right word is. Niche. You know what niche.
I think like, bonkers is the word you're looking for.
It is a totally bonkers movie, and it's very geared toward like a specific audience.
Yeah.
And that specific audience really likes this.
Yeah. Lonely little girls who grew up to be lonely adult women.
Yeah. Me.
Well, spot on.
Synapses coming at you here.
Right at you.
An unhappy housewife gets a lift from the return of her imaginary childhood friend. Drop Dead Fred. That's it. That's all we got.
Beautiful. Keep it short and simple.
Short and sweet synopsis.
We often don't get many of that, but you know what? Every once in a while, 3 out of 10. It had a budget of $6.788 million.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, it's an estimation, but it's a very exact estimation.
Very high.
Almost $7 million to make this film.
For a 1991 flick.
I mean, that's a lot of money. The $7 million, that's a lot of money. And it clearly went to their CGI budget. Would you like to guess how much money it made? It looks like they only got domestic numbers here, so.
Okay. Nikki, do you know?
I know it, yeah.
Fuck, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't look.
15 mil.
You looked.
No.
Well,
That's pretty good.
If you
Was it
round,
really
if
good?
you
Was it
round
pretty
up, it's
good?
15 mil. It's 14.8 million
Wow.
domestic.
I promise I did not look.
That was pretty good.
If you say so.
I mean, I was just imagining the cast list as Phoebe Cates. I don't know if this was before or after Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
For sure.
It's after.
Afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so she gained a following from that, I'm sure. And so seeing that she's the lead actress, people are going to want to see that.
This movie is starring a gentleman by the name of Rik Mayall. He
Rest in
plays
peace.
Drop Dead Fred. And then Phoebe, your friend who you're
Cates.
just talking about. This also has Carrie Fisher. Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Also, Marsha Mason, who plays the Nurse Ratched, I believe. Or no, that's the mom. Nurse Ratched's played by a different fat lady.
But the mom's not fat,
The mom's
dude.
not fat.
The mom is fit.
Well, in this movie, and
I mean, I haven't seen her in other things.
Tells a different story. But hey, you know what? That's all we got here for that. That's pretty much what we got. Drop Dead Fred is maybe the craziest thing I've seen in a long time. Not because it's like scary or anything. It is definitely got some really spooky parts.
But also, you're just really faint-hearted when it comes to these spooky parts, quote unquote.
I don't know if faint-hearted is the word. I think
Yeah,
You're
you're like-
just pre-jumpy.
Yeah.
pre-jumpy.
Because there are
Yeah.
a few scenes in this movie, like where it gets a little dark in the bedroom and it starts zooming in on the Jack in the Box, where we presume
It is a scary
Drop
Jack in the
Dead
Box.
Fred's
Jack in the Box tend to be scary places.
in different ways, like a Jack in the Box burger joint, usually in the ghetto,
The fast food place.
a fast food joint. So yeah,
Okay, so yeah, the synopsis didn't really tell you, but this woman is having the worst day of her life. And then to top off the worst day of her life, she is then reintroduced to a true Loki-esque jokester that is only out to ruin the life of this woman. And I really don't know why she wants to hang out with Drop Dead Fred, because truly his only mission in life is to make, what's her name? Sophie Marceau? What's her name?
Phoebe Cates?
Phoebe Cates.
yes. What the fuck? Yeah,
Lizzie.
don't
Her
Lizzie.
character's
remember her
name is
name.
Lizzie.
Lizzie.
Drop Dead Fred is ruining Lizzie's life. It has been ruining her life since he met her as a child. I mean, it's unbelievable how much literal shit he gets into.
Yeah, but the thing with that is that so imaginary friends are usually for children, they're guardians of children. And so he knows at how to cater to a child and what like a child thinks is funny and what a child like wants to do.
It's kind of like The Mask.
Yeah, I guess kind of. I don't get it. What?
No, I wouldn't say so. Not necessarily.
Not Eric Stoltz mask, Jim Carrey mask.
No, what I would be thinking of that mask, of course. Not Jamie Kennedy's mask, right? he
Oh
did,
yeah, the
that's
second
right.
That's the
mask.
mask.
That's something
too.
we could do. But
So he's used to like gearing all of his like antics towards like what will keep a child entertained.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to properly interact with an adult because he's never done it before.
he's not geared for adults.
Yeah.
I mean, even
So
in the
he's-
flashbacks.
he's ruining her adult life because he doesn't know how to be an adult.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to go to the flashbacks, look at how happy
But he
she was
is
as
an
a kid.
adult, though.
Yeah, he's
Physically, dude, but he's also just a figment of her imagination.
Okay.
What? You obviously have a lot of questions.
I mean,
you
I
hate this movie.
I
You
I
think
know
it is
why
that
you
bad.
hate this movie. You're watching it with the wrong lens, dude. You
which
have
lenses should I have watched it with?
to with the kooky lens. Like
I
you
had a
kind-
kooky head on. I had a
like,
kooky head
you
on.
have to understand the base reality of this film.
I understand invisible friends, bro. Okay, I understand.
And that's an invisible friend.
Mm.
Okay, what are your qualms? I'm sure Nick Lowe over here could answer all of them.
Well, I think he's just really extreme, and I think it's catered to the child that he's with on how extreme the child is, or how extremely unhappy the child is.
But isn't he making the child that extreme? Don't you think his antics are what's making the child like? Because even
No,
at the
because-
end of the movie, when he gets a new girl, he's doing like crazy
But
shit
at
with
the end of the day, he's only there because of them, like because of their imagination. So only they can, like, he can only do whatever they imagine him to do. So if they didn't
don't
have
know.
a
I think
crazy
he
imagination,
makes
then
his-
he wouldn't be doing all these crazy things.
I think he makes his own decisions and does his own things because that's why he's able to be in other people's lives. I think there's some sort of like other entity that is like assigning these imaginary friends to children, and then the people. It's like I think they're like Fairly Odd Parents, right? You remember how the Fairly Odd Parents are like assigned to children for a couple of
Yeah.
years? That's what I think this Diesel is until the kids get better. Right?
Become happy, because that essentially
his goal.
that's
That's
why
his thing.
he's there.
He
She's
said-
And
unhappy.
also like and he's Yeah, there's a weird sexual tension too.
No, I definitely see
There
it.
was for sure
I do
sex
want to
text.
touch up on that, and I know it's going to piss off Nikki over here, but, you know, for once in my life, I'm going to slightly agree with you on that.
What do you mean once in your life?
Yeah, because for once in my life. What do you mean? What do
You
I mean?
agree with me quite a bit.
Every now and then, and also, you know, shit, some of the things you say, bonkers. But with this, not that bonkers, because if you were to analyze the body language between Phoebe Cates and the actor that
They
plays
get
Drop Dead
so close.
their
Rik
faces
something.
get real close.
Yeah.
And I
They
don't
get so close.
want
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't even put that stuff together until you guys said it while we were watching the movie, and it really upset me because I didn't even like think
after
of that.
200 times
After
of watching
200
this
times
movie.
of watching
You
this
just saw it
movie.
super innocent.
Yeah, like because I'm just looking at it like these are two friends that love and care about each other. And
Maybe it's, and I don't mean to be a dick, but maybe it's the fact that you're a lady and ladies can have platonic friendships with a person of the opposite sex, and I think it's tough for men initially to have platonic relationships with a woman. So when we see a relationship between a guy and a girl who are friends, I think initially we're right off the bat being like, well, who's trying to get who here? Who's trying to get laid here? And I think that might be what the basis is.
Well, not even just that. That's a valid point. But like, if you were to just like look at the scenes in which they do interact when she is older,
The way he
you
missed
could
her,
see
yeah.
the way that she looks at him.
Even from his first line of like, "You've gotten uglier," you're just like, he thinks she got hotter.
well, you know what? She's the first grown up he's been able to interact with, so maybe he's just like backed up real bad.
Was he helping out other kids when? Was he able to help out other kids in the time when she was not playing with him? You know what I mean?
I mean, I would assume so, especially
Or was he just waiting
since
around?
he went to a different kid when she moved on and was able to be happy.
So was he done with that kid and it just happened to be the exact same time that she needed him? Or did she rip him away from a kid who also needed him at the same time?
I don't know.
I don't know because go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because the way that I picture it is that he was taken away from Lizzie too early when her evil mother like caught him and taped him in the box.
Yeah.
So my thing is that he's just been in that jack-o'-lantern,
Yeah, that's
like
what I'm thinking.
waiting
The entire time.
The
Because
entire
because she
time.
masking taped it shut so that he couldn't escape. Yet he has like magical powers to like.
So it is interesting that the masking tape has some sort of defense toward this
And it
magical
comes up.
being.
It comes up a couple of times. Like they use masking tape multiple times in this movie, and it's like, well,
they should have used that to fix the houseboat.
They could.
they didn't need to.
have
Did you
done
see
that.
the insurance claim that Carrie Fisher got?
So many zeros.
So many round zeros.
They haven't seen that
She-
many zeros since they looked at the national debt.
Can I say that the little girl playing young Phoebe Cates is acting up a storm?
Oh my god, I love her so
She's
much.
doing a fantastic
I wonder
job.
what she's doing now.
You could look her
You
up.
think she's
I'm
still
sure.
an actress?
It's
I
possible.
hope so.
Because what is she? Maybe 4?
Yeah,
in
she's
this?
probably like 4, maybe 5 in that movie.
She's probably a millennial.
Yeah, to be
Out
able.
partying on spring break.
She's probably like my age, actually.
No, she's
can't
older
be
than
that
us,
old.
dude. If she's 4 years old at 19,
you mother.
What? No, you got the Asian glow to you, so you look younger than me. I'll say. People think I look 35 right now.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that was actually an opportunity for you to.
No, you don't look
go against
35.
that.
No, I was saying if people like think that's how old you look, I'd be like, oh no, I look younger than that. But I don't think you look 35.
How old did you think I was when you first saw me?
Oh, I thought you were
Alex's age.
Alex's
That
age,
makes sense.
yeah.
I'm sure you do.
How old did you think I was when you first got to know me?
12.
actually no, because when we first met,
I was already bartending.
no, you were serving first.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I
you
did that
served for like a
week.
week, and then you got promoted to bartender, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this motherfuck?
'Cause
Like,
I'm that
why is
good.
this?"
This motherfucker. I love
Yeah,
that.
do we want to
insult.
talk? I mean, let's take a second here and talk about how me and Nick Lowe met, because Nick Lowe is one of my best friends.
That's sweet.
Yeah, when I lived in Irvine, me and Nikki, we both worked together at the Cheesecake Factory at the Irvine Spectrum Center, and we were bartenders together. And like Nikki said, I moved down there. I got a job as a server, and within a week or so, I was bartending, and everybody was like, "Who? Like, what the fuck? Like, who is this guy?" And then like we had a staff meeting, and I got like Employee of the Month for like the first month I was there, and I like hadn't even
I
done
just
it.
remember
Half
sitting
the
in
people
the
didn't even
back
know
and
who I
being
was.
like, "What the fucking fuck?"
Who is this kid?
And I had been there for over a year.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And like,
Ooh.
and I was promoted shortly before you were because we had the patio bar. So,
Sure. Oh, that's right. We just
'cause
opened we redid
just,
the patio.
Yeah, they were redoing the patio bar. So I had just been promoted like maybe a month or two before you got there.
Ugh.
So I was just like, who the fuck is this kid? I did not like him.
Was this guy flirting up a storm with anything?
No, he didn't talk to anybody.
No, you kept to yourself.
Yeah, because when I moved to Irvine, I wasn't there to like be myself. I was there to take care of my cousin Jeff, and so I wasn't like trying to meet people or like I was there to like make money so that I can go and take care of Jeff. And when I was off work, I went and made him dinner and took care of him that way. After 6 or 8 months was when I decided that I was gonna live there, and that's when I got an apartment with another coworker that we had, and that was when things kind of changed. That's when I kind of started coming more into myself and being a little bit more outgoing and doing things. But yeah, initially it wasn't like that. And Nikki didn't like me at first. I mean, there's a couple of
that makes sense.
I mean, most people don't like me at first.
Yeah,
exactly. That's
we
why
were
I'm saying
like when
sense.
we would work together, we were just like quiet. I wouldn't say there was like any animosity. I would hope not. And I'm sorry if I make you feel that way.
No, I'm just kidding.
But like I was just quiet, did my job, walk in, walk out. Basically, is how it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun time. And then, we had, like I said, we
ignored each other. It was great.
We had that patio bar. So in one restaurant, there was 2 bars, and we would always be working together. And we'd be like on an island on our own pretty much for 8 hours. And then
you'd be forced to like each other, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean,
just through casual conversation.
Yeah, you get to know
It was
you get to know your
actually
partner.
Jeremy Fernandez is the reason why we became friends.
That's right, because me and Jeremy used to go to the casino on Sunday nights. So we would close on Sunday, and the Cheesecake would close at like 11. And if I made over $100 on a Sunday night, which was pretty doable. Yeah, especially where we were. Me and Jeremy would be like, "Hey, you want to go to Pachanga?" And
that's the place where you lost a lot of money.
No, that's where I played a lot
Did
of gambling.
you actually win a lot?
That's where I gambled a lot. So we would go there quite often. And then one night we were going to go and we're like, "Hey, Nikki, we're going to the casino. You want to come with us?" And she was like, "Okay." And I think you drove me.
No, you drove, but I drove with you.
That's right. And so we drove down there and we, gambled all night and then drove home. And we ended up getting caught in morning traffic to work.
Yeah, so it was 5:00 Monday morning traffic.
We ended up, being on the road for 2-3 hours. So that's when we, talked and got to know each other.
You're forced to have those conversations.
Yeah, but because Temecula wasn't that far away from Irvine, maybe 45 minutes. But it was 30 minutes Sunday night because there was nobody on the road. But then 2 hours Monday morning because everybody was on the road. It was such a crazy, and you're always hungover and kind of tired when
Yeah. And then just being stuck in the car with each other, we started talking. And at the time, I was going through a really bad breakup. He was going through a breakup, and we kind of just started talking about it. You
bond through that easily, of course.
And then after that, it was just so we're best friends now.
Oh, that's what Nikki said, and I was like, yeah, I guess so.
We're best friends.
He did bring you up a lot. I mean, whenever I would talk to him when I was living up here, and
it's because I was always with him.
Yeah,
I'd be like, we're gonna go skateboarding, we're gonna go to Sonic, we're gonna watch Rick and Morty.
Yeah, once I got my own place, we would hang out quite a bit, and then when I was living in Irvine proper, I lived in a brand new neighborhood, so we would go skating all the time and just because it's a whole bunch of brand new flat streets, and we could literally start on one side of the neighborhood and just glide all the way to the other side of the neighborhood. Yeah, we wouldn't
even have to pump your legs because it was all slightly downhill a little
fun.
bit.
I would do that.
Awesome.
A straight 20-minute ride that we would do, and then
that's nice.
I got really confident in my skateboarding abilities, and I broke my collarbone one night.
And she's the one that rescued you.
She is. Nikki Lowe is my hero again. I called her and was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm doing homework.
I'm just hurting. My collarbone's broken."
She was literally like, "Well, what are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, nothing. I'm."
Were you that casual during that conversation?
Okay, she says no, but I do distinctly remember asking her what she was doing at first and playing it cool and waiting for you to ask me what I was doing.
Yeah, I exaggerated at first for sure. Yeah, it was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" "Oh, nothing. I'm just doing homework."
Cool.
Yeah.
So I think I need a ride to the hospital.
Yeah, and then I was like, "What? Why?" And then you're like, "That's when you're like, it hurts real bad."
I because then as soon as I said I broke my collarbone, that's when you kind of lose it and you're like,
oh, of course. And once you say it, those words are real.
Oh God.
My collarbone's broken.
I'm surprised. Nobody broke their bones in Drop Dead Fred.
Well, because
I'm sure they did.
Someone got hurt.
Nobody got hurt. Do you think?
Drop Dead Fred should have gotten hurt, but he's a figment of the girl's imagination.
Not only that, all of his stunts I think were done by CGI.
Oh, the CGI that took $9 million to
Seven.
make. Oh, seven.
Anytime homegirl sneezed, this guy, like a volleyball, would bounce around the house.
Yes.
Nick Lowe,
It reminded me of those. Do you remember those like character bouncy balls that you would get when you were younger?
I remember
like,
bouncy balls.
Like, yeah, just like regular bouncy balls, but they had like characters on them.
I'm trying to read your hand gestures right
it's
now.
just-
You're just gripping.
It's just a ball.
Oh, that's the.
Like they
Wait,
have
what's
like
the
Trolls
ball?
dolls on the inside or what?
No, it's like the ball itself was like a character. Oh God, I'm old.
No,
No.
maybe we're just not cultured.
Yeah.
Maybe we just didn't have those toys.
Maybe.
It's possible. I had
Yeah.
different toys. You make that sound so dirty. It's just a normal
I didn't mean it.
sentence,
It's
man.
You
just-
just
it is.
didn't
It's
have
just-
toys growing up,
Nope, I played with dirt and I climbed trees
and you did math problems.
and I did math problems
You had
because
to
my parents
harvest
were
the
like,
mangoes. You had to.
"Whoa, racist, dude."
To what race?
Made Adobe chicken.
Hey, to what
Adobe
race?
chicken.
That's even worse than what
Yeah.
I said. How come you
Yeah.
don't hop down her throat,
Ah, she's nicer to me
bitch?
Right now.
right now. Yeah, you bully me later.
Yeah. Off camera.
Off camera. Yeah, you have to come off as polite here in this medium.
Exactly.
So in the beginning of the movie, Lizzie
Lizzie.
is having the
Dude,
worst
did
day
you
of her
pay
life.
attention to the movie?
I thought her name was Fiona Applegate.
What? Are you mixing two different actresses together?
So Lizzie McGuire is having the worst day of her life.
Oh my gosh.
And she is not only finds out. Well, she like broke up with her husband at first, right? That's what we're supposed
She
to
was
understand.
trying to.
Yeah,
no, she already did.
It seemed like they were separated.
And she was like, I think we need to take a break. And that's why she was going to come and like apologize to him.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you know what? You're right. We do need a break. And I'm going to go live with my slut.
Essentially, let's talk about that guy real quick.
God.
Charles
Cheap Rob Lowe.
is a cheap Rob Lowe. He has a nasty mullet.
Rob High.
He looks way older than this chick, and he is a disgusting womanizer.
He is a
Disgusting?
manipulative piece of shit.
Yeah, and this entire time, you said you were kind of into this
Nope, I hate him. I
manipulative piece
also
of shit.
dislike him.
Nope,
No,
lies.
I hate him.
You saw the lines that he was spilling all over these
He
ladies
had
throughout the
a
movie.
couple good responses.
I'm your fella, Annabella.
That's a great line.
No, that's so cheesy.
I'm your fella. Anytime you can rhyme with somebody's name, that's extra points.
No, for you ladies out there, if you fall for a line like "I'm your fella, Annabella" or "I'm your homie,
Macaroni.
Macaroni," there you go.
Whose name is Macaroni?
You need an arm, Lucky Charm. If you fall for that type of shit,
These are
you
great
don't know.
lines.
No, of course you think they're great lines, but just talk to the girl. Call her by her name. Date one person at a time, or just stay single and then fool around. But you're messing with poor Phoebe Cates' heart.
Yeah,
I'm
was,
not.
He did everything that he could to make sure that he didn't feel like the bad guy in the situation. So like she wanted to go in there and be like, I forgive you, I love you, like let's try to fix this. And he was like, no, you were right. We should take a break. Go and live with Annabella. That's what you said. And she was like, I don't think I said that. That's her name, Annabella. Like he's putting words.
That was really funny when she
Yeah.
was like,
To
"What?
her
I don't
mouth.
even know." She didn't even know her
she
name.
didn't even know her name. Like he's putting words in her mouth.
I believe the kids call that gaslighting.
Yeah, he's totally gaslighting
Yes.
her in order to make himself feel better about the situation and still get what he wants out of it, which is his new home wrecker, Annabella.
That guy's psychotic,
I've
I feel so bad for her.
I've been watching this show with my mom, Love at First Sight. Or
Love is Blind?
Married,
Oh,
no,
Love
no,
is
no,
Blind?
no, Married at First Sight.
I want to talk about that with you later.
We can.
Yeah, I guess I'll leave then.
No, that'd be fine. I mean, I'm pretty sure we'd still have a great episode if you were to walk out. You know where the door is.
Jessica is crazy.
Dude, Jessica's a batshit crazy bitch.
Did you
Anyway.
guys see Tiger King?
No, not yet. Neither of you, so.
I have.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
many tigers. That's how he knew.
I'm all about Joe Exotic, dude. I think Joe Exotic should be for president 2020.
You did literally say that earlier.
I
He's
did.
a little late to the game.
No, the election's in November, bro.
No, but still, people start
Write it
campaigning.
in. Write it in, America. Joe Exotic 2020.
We totally cut you off of your point, though, and I
doesn't
can't remember
matter.
what you were saying now.
Neither do I. I don't even want to talk about
I'm
it.
with him. It doesn't matter.
I'm not the one who said that. I'm not the one who said it didn't matter, you dick. I see why people could like this film. I see why it would be relatable to a certain audience, but at the same time, Woof.
Maybe you're not that audience.
I am not a sad little girl.
Yeah, no, you're. But no,
Christian
I'm
is.
not a sad little girl. I'm quite the opposite. I'm a happy big boy.
Happy big boy.
Big bye, big bye.
I'm a happy big. I'm not saying it like that,
Happy big bye.
dude.
That's how you said it.
Happy big boy. Now I'm exaggerating it, and you're playing me to be this big brown caricature. Anyway,
No.
Caricature of myself.
a caricature of myself. You guys have seen me when
The lights are off.
when I'm not pushed to a corner. Anyway.
You're literally in a corner
Yeah,
right
I was
now.
just gonna
I
say
am.
that we literally pushed you in a corner.
Yeah, but you guys didn't push me.
okay,
here.
no, I'll defend the movie because and
I'll help you.
Yeah, because I am
I'll help you.
I am aware how this movie, especially like it is aged and the effects are not great.
And it's aged very poorly. I
Yeah.
will say a lot of
Very
upskirt
poorly.
jokes that
Yeah.
are very not
that
tasteful.
in the wake of like the Me Too movement and like women coming up and stepping out and like expressing how they've been taken advantage by men. No, like
Literally, even invisible men take advantage of women. Men are so bad.
Have you seen the movie Invisible Man lately?
No, but I want to.
That's a good. Yeah, with what you just said,
you're
that
a
movie.
scaredy cat though. You don't like movies like that.
You'll
but
shit your
Invisible
guts.
Man's based on an old movie that I do like.
and which is based on a book.
Oh, shocker. Almost everything's based on a book. Toots.
Don't call her Toots.
I could call her
It's
whatever
How
I
dare
want.
you.
I've called her way worse.
Why? I never.
I say, sir.
Nice transatlantic accent. You partake in the theater?
The theater.
It'd be radio if you're doing a transatlantic.
No, that's true.
You're gonna be big in the pictures, boy.
No, and a lot of their jokes did not age well, obviously, and like going around and calling like Phoebe Cates' mom like mega bitch and like
No,
all that
Mega
kind
Beast.
of. No, it's mega bitch.
She knows. Do not. You have no.
He calls her
place
the
to
mega
correct her with
beast
this
once,
movie.
but most of the time
He
he's
calls her
saying
bitch.
mega bitch.
Oh, and that's
Yeah.
look. What I saw on Wikipedia says that bitch and mega beast are two different insults that he says constantly. So
Yeah.
don't jump down my throat, you piece of poop.
Well, also,
So-
don't
You
jump
Poop-
down
you
Wikipedia thinking
poop
everything's
looking,
true.
You poop smelling, you poop tasting, poop.
You have lost all of your IQ instantaneously
Is it because of
in
this
that
movie?
insult.
Yes, this movie made me dumber.
This movie, you were
movie-
like half paying attention. You're like, what the fuck's happening? And then you look back at
Nikki,
your phone.
what's going on? Just watch the movie.
I
Watch
knew,
the
the
movie.
I knew what was
dude.
going on. When I asked what is happening, it was a question of like, what the fuck is like?
I think-
who the fuck is like writing this script and being like, yes.
I think if you can look past the amazingly bad jokes because they're supposed to be bad, like that's another reason why I like this movie is because I think it's a movie that's supposed to be bad.
Of course.
Like they're like Robin Hood Men in Tights, like it's a movie making fun of a movie, like kind of thing.
A
Like,
parody.
Yeah, it's a parody
You
of
have
itself.
to be in on the joke
Yeah.
in order to laugh at the joke. This movie is already like an inside joke. If you could get past the fact that, first of all,
that the
it's-
opening credits.
the opening credits, we watched this on DVD.
Yeah,
And the home menu.
the music in the home menu.
It
was a circus show. It was a
And that's
circus
his like
show.
theme song. That's like Homeboy's theme. Though.
There's about 2
Yeah.
songs in this entire soundtrack.
The little girl is my favorite actress though. Young Lizzie.
She's
Yeah.
really good.
She was so good and she was so cute. And like, I don't know, I think especially because like there are so many people that can be like villainized in this movie. And at the end of it, like Phoebe, Lizzie's character kind of steps up and she was like, yeah, these people like attributed to my unhappiness, but at the end of the day, I'm responsible for my
Yeah.
own happiness. And like,
exactly.
I'm deciding to be happy like for me and to stop living a life that these other people want me to
There
live.
is a deeper meaning to
Yeah.
this film. You have to get past its wackiness that it presents on the surface level. It is
Yeah.
about her internal conflict. You were saying when we started this movie, this girl is emotionally stunted because of her fucked up childhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
She had to develop an imaginary friend because of the emotional abuse she received from her mother that only had her to save her marriage.
Which she
Which we find
tells
out
her
later,
child,
yeah.
her 4-year-old child.
Yes.
Like, oh wait, no.
No,
she
she's
didn't
telling
say,
that to
no,
full-grown,
Yeah,
but,
she said
yeah.
that to Lizzie when she was full
Full-grown
grown.
Liz.
That like, that she did what many couples do, and that's to have a child to save a marriage, and then you made that marriage worse. But like,
Well, she didn't make the marriage worse. The marriage was just wasn't
yeah, the
safe.
marriage
It was
was
already
already
bad.
terrible, and like Phoebe can be blaming all like Lizzie's let me try that one more time.
Yeah.
Lizzie can be blaming all of these problems that she's having on so many different people, whether it can be her mother for being emotionally abusive to her as a child. It can be both of her parents for constantly fighting in front of her and not showing her what a proper relationship looks like and guiding her to being a better partner and to accepting a good partner. She could blame her father for leaving when she was 4 and not coming back, especially when her father knew how terrible her mother was.
Why didn't he take her with him?
Like, did he just like walk out?
Yeah, he walked out when the mother trapped Fred in the Jack in the Box and never came back.
Jesus Christ.
What I think is weird, semi-weird, is how everybody doesn't want to acknowledge that Fred is real, yet everybody does act as if Fred is real.
Yeah.
So there's not enough people are like, because they're constantly telling her like, well, Fred's not real. Fred's not real. You're crazy. You're making this all up. But then they're like, well, I'm gonna lock him in the box then, and I'm gonna tape it shut. So they're like, I'm gonna take him away from you.
The worst part about all of that is like, so when Lizzie's mom came out and saw that big mess and she saw how scared Lizzie was and she was holding on to this box for dear life, she was like, what's in the box? Oh, Drop Dead Fred's in the box. And she grabs it and she's like, oh, that will make you cry. Well, now I know how to do it.
She did say those words.
Yeah. So she's sitting there and she finally learned how to control her daughter. Yeah. And I guarantee you that she used that as leverage her entire childhood and was like, if you don't do this, I'm going to make sure I crush Drop Dead Fred. If you don't do this, I'm going to throw Drop Dead Fred out the window. If you don't do this.
I guess, but she didn't even keep Drop Dead Fred as that token. She tapes it up and then like gives it back to him and is like, don't open it. And it's like, well, you just gave up your hand there, lady. She should have held on to that a little bit longer.
I think that these characters are way more fleshed out than you would think.
Yeah.
Like really, the mom is a raging bitch.
Even in that case, like you can't, and it's crazy though, because like as much as you want to blame things on the mom because she is a raging bitch, at the end of the movie she says that she's lonely. Yeah. Like she had a distant husband. She is trying to control her daughter, trying to turn her daughter into a younger version of herself. Like she's clearly really unhappy.
Making her dress like her.
She's got some serious issues of her own, like
weird mom.
Like, you know, so it's like everyone has their own problems.
Even Drop Dead Fred has his own issues in this movie, and
he has a lot of issues.
He has
a bunch of issues.
Of course, he has a bunch of issues from the outside looking in. But like even his own self-reflection, he sees that he kind of needs Phoebe Cates, and like he sees that he wants Phoebe Cates to be happy, and he is, although he's kooky, he is smart enough to know that Charles is not Phoebe Cates' path to happiness.
Because he's her path, because he loves her. He knows that she shouldn't love him.
He knows that if she were actually happy, he would not be there.
Yeah. And so with that being said, I know we were playing along.
I think he would still be there.
I think we were playing along with the possibility that there might be some romanticism between Drop Dead Fred and you could roll your eyes.
Lizzie.
But I mean, let's dig deep into it. He knows her well enough to know that Charles is a piece of shit and that she shouldn't be with a man like that.
Yeah.
But anybody can from a mile away.
Yeah.
Not her mom. Her mom wants her to be with him.
Well, her mom's a bitch.
Yep.
Well, but Drop Dead Fred is doing what a man should when he should try to court a girl. He knew how to make
her laugh.
Phoebe Cates laugh.
Yeah.
He knew how to make Lizzie, that character, happy. But obviously, with this time jump, he didn't know how to do it.
And even in the Catalina wine mixer that they went to.
Catalina wine mixer. That's right. There's a crossover with Step Brothers.
Even with the wine mixer that they went to, he was like, oh, I'll go. I'll be your date. And then he goes with her and he dresses up. He puts on, granted, it's a wacky tuxedo.
He's a Jimmy Neutron.
He's wearing what the doorman wears in Wizard of Oz when they get to the Emerald City.
Yeah, but he dresses up. He has like a coat on with like coattails, and then he actually puts like grease in his hair instead of it being all wacky and crazy. He's trying.
I'm sorry, that hair that he has isn't wacky and crazy.
No, it's still wacky,
but
and crazy.
It's very expressive of himself, and he's not trying to be anyone that he's not. trying to be, or that he.
Because nobody can see him. It's not like anybody can see him.
Of course, I mean, and now you're just. This is what I'm saying. You're tackling this movie from a perspective where you're only gonna hate it. We're trying to be defenders of this.
I like it.
You're a fucking liar, dude.
No, let him say it. He likes it.
No, I'm a liar.
Oh man.
Christian says I'm a liar.
Yeah, man. You say you're a liar. You say you're
Well,
like.
what don't you like about it?
No, I just think Fred's really fucking annoying.
No, he is. He's supposed to be though. Like he's
And I
supposed
think-
to be wild and kooky and crazy and out of this world.
And I think there was a weird part when they like disintegrate into each other and go to like
go into
dream world.
That
Yeah.
was crazy.
And then when she comes
sidebar
out of-
real quick, can
What's up?
we just talk about how it was clear that when that dream world that they went into, that was a soundstage. That was Prince's soundstage.
The whole every
nuts.
indoor scene was on the
every
soundstage.
indoor scene was. This is the first and only movie that's ever been made on Prince's personal soundstage.
Did Prince, was he like a producer on this?
No, he's
set?
not even credited in it.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
But they
He was just
filmed
like,
it-
yeah, you could use my set.
They filmed in Minneapolis, and so that's where he has a lot of his stuff, and that's where he's from.
Wild.
And it's and the only reason why I know that is because of the other podcast, How Did This Get Made?
Mm-hmm.
They talked about it in great detail, and it was awesome.
That's a very specific fact about this
Yeah,
movie.
it was so cool.
I mean, that's a fun fact.
yeah.
That is a fun fact.
It
Nick.
legitimately
fact.
is fun. Yeah. I want to talk about Carrie Fisher's boo thing.
Oh my! Or Carrie Fisher in general being in this movie. We haven't even acknowledged that.
Yes. So
She looks pretty clean. It doesn't look like she's doing a lot of drugs in this one.
No, she. Oh gosh, she was amazing. Like, because I've never seen Star Wars. I know,
Whoa.
controversial.
So how do you know
Super
who Carrie Fisher
controversial.
is then?
So this is the first movie I had seen Carrie Fisher in.
So when someone says, "Hey,
So when
Carrie Fisher," you
I
think
of
this movie.
this movie because I've never seen Star Wars. I mean, I know that she played Princess Leia, and I know that I've seen her. I know what she looks like, what that character looks like, but that's not what I think of her as. I think of her as what? I don't even remember her name.
I don't.
Jolene?
Carrie.
Carrie.
Her name's Carrie
Phoebe's
Fisher.
best friend.
Phoebe Cates' best friend,
Wow,
Carrie Fisher.
you're definitely in the minority.
Yeah,
when
very
it comes to
controversial.
that.
I don't often tell people that because I get yelled at. So
People are yelling at you
people
about
yell
this.
at me. Where have you been? Have you been living under a rock?
Is that what people sound like?
Is that yelling?
Yeah. Are they? Is that? That's not yelling.
That's how I hear
Sounds a little
them.
sing-songy.
It sounds like congestion to me.
You should see Star Wars.
Yeah, no, it's
You
good,
should.
but
There's a few you should probably check out.
yeah, it is quite a commitment. I don't blame you.
I
Have
do
you-
really like Adam Driver. Maybe I'll watch the newer ones.
He's like
A bad guy,
He has a really
right?
long face, but a fantastic actor. He's a bad-ish guy.
Yeah.
But yes, Carrie Fisher
Carrie fucking Fisher.
is actually doing a great job at acting in this
She
movie.
is. She is. She lives on a houseboat and she's having sex with a gentleman named Murray.
Murray,
Yes.
And,
who is significantly older than her.
But a beast. And the quote is...
Oh, no, don't do it. Don't say it.
Okay, I won't say it.
Oh, do it.
Well, let's give some exposition first. So they are fucking.
no, should we just do quotes without context on this one?
Do you have it? I don't have it exactly written
I didn't
down.
write down anything, but if you have any quotes for us,
The one that he's about to say.
Okay,
Well,
say
just
it.
the one that it's that she's like he's a beast, right? And what's homegirl? Liz is like
best friend.
no, Liz.
You mean he goes all night?
yeah?
Yes, apparently they've been fucking for 5 hours.
No, it means he shits in the corner and eats with his paws. That's what Carrie Fisher says.
That's a really quick one. Apparently, Carrie
That's
Fisher
quick.
wrote a bunch of her own lines,
Yeah.
which isn't a surprise.
imagine that.
She does that quite often.
And then Murray, the next morning, when they see that Phoebe Cates' hair is cut because Drop Dead Fred cut it in the middle of the night.
Oh my God, Drop Dead Fred is a Sour Patch Kid.
He's a fucking Sour Patch Kid. I bet that's where Sour Patch Kid got their ideas.
From Drop Dead Fred.
From Drop Dead
Okay,
Fred.
Nikki.
I would believe it.
But anyway, so Carrie Fisher and Murray are looking over Lizzie, and they're just like, "What'd you do to your hair? Are you shedding?" And she's like, "No, it's Drop Dead Fred." And then Carrie Fisher has to explain to Murray, like, "Oh, that's her imaginary friend." And Murray's like,
Ugh.
ugh. Murray's like, oh, I never had imaginary friends, just wet dreams, and then kisses the back of her neck. What the
back
fuck?
of her neck. That is not a sexy line. And
Who's
don't.
proud of wet dreams? I don't like Murray. I think Murray's gross.
You said that was a boss ass line when we were watching it. You were
the
like,
boss line.
nice.
No, the boss line was when Charles says the wrong name in bed. So
yes.
Charles is finally with Liz, and
No,
he goes.
and it wasn't that she said the name; it's how he fucking twisted it to gaslight Phoebe Cates'
exactly.
character.
Let's break that down. This is one of your favorite lines in the film, and I want you to say it.
I hate you guys. You guys make me feel like such an asshole.
No, but you're an asshole. You're our asshole.
I'm my own asshole. Thank you very much.
And you have your own.
You can be my second asshole.
I am my own asshole. Thank you very much. I'm a whole ass hole on my own. Anyways.
You got that right.
Shove it, Christian.
You lost your train of thought because we were calling you an asshole.
Shut up.
So many times.
Fuck you.
Charles.
Charles is making out with Liz, and he's like, oh, Anna. And she was like, or Annabella. And she's like, wait, you just called me Annabella. And he was like, what? And she was like, yeah, you just called me Annabella. And without even like missing a beat, he goes, he says, oh, but isn't it better that I would say someone else's name, but be here with you because I'm here with you in this moment? And she's like, oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. And I think
rather than
Fucking piece
being
of
with
shit.
someone else and saying your name and I'm not with you, that's not smooth. That's a piece of shit move.
God.
He's not handsome enough for all these girls to be falling at their
No,
heels.
but
for
he's
him.
a Jaguar car dealer.
which means what?
That's very telling of his traits that he'll say anything
Yep.
to make that sale.
Yep.
You're a salesman, aren't you?
No. Not if we're going to talk about asshole salesmen. I don't want to be lumped into that group.
you're
You
smooth.
also don't have a job right now, so you're not lying.
Well, we'll cut that part out of the episode.
Well, it's not because of anything you did
That's
or
not
didn't
your
do.
fault. I don't have a job right now either. I got laid off.
Fucking Corona.
None of this is staying in the episode. Look,
Send us money, please.
I think that what's his name? Charles.
Charles.
Charles is at the least very quick-witted.
Yeah, no.
Well, he
and
has to be. He's a salesman.
if you're being manipulative, if you are a manipulator, you have to at the very least be very good with your words. You have to have a certain level of conviction. Check.
Confidence.
A certain level of confidence. Check. You have to
A certain level
I
of
like how you're
sounds like you
checking.
know this checklist.
No, I just think it's funny how you're like checking as we go
Check.
down.
Check.
As if it's like you're looking at yourself and like you gotta have a level of confidence. I do. Check.
certain
You gotta have
level
a-
of douchebaggery.
Check.
Yes.
I definitely got that.
Dude, I could not
Jaguar.
manipulate
Check.
myself out of a situation by any means.
Yeah,
Have you seen me?
No, but I would love to see you try and use that line of saying the wrong name in bed and being like, no, like it's cool because like, aren't you glad that I'm here with you?
Wouldn't you rather me be with like another? I would fuck.
Do you
I'd
and
fuck my
Melissa
nuts.
know anyone named Annabella? You should just try that.
Oh, we know an
do.
Annabella.
Yeah.
Oh,
we do.
okay, never mind. Don't.
Don't use that Annabella.
Don't use that
we,
name.
we do.
Don't use that name.
No, she'll kick me in the dick if I say someone
Just
else's
the
name
dick?
in bed. Everything else, the dick is just the tip of the iceberg, might I say.
I would aim for the balls. Something tells me getting hit in the dick doesn't hurt nearly as bad as getting hit in the balls.
Sidebar question: does it hurt if you get hit in the boob?
It depends on what part of the boob. If you smack me in my nipple, yeah, that hurts. Because nipples
How
are
do you smack a
sensitive.
nipple?
Or if you punch me in
Takes
the
You know,
nipple
how,
or
you know how to
whatever.
slap a nipple, bro.
But like if you punch me like side boob, like no.
Side boobs don't hurt.
Side boob doesn't
Front
really
boob
hurt.
hurts.
Front boob hurts.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Planning an attack?
No. I just want to be more aware of where my
Of where
knuckles
to
are.
punch.
Melissa, be careful.
How often are you like punching Melissa in the boob and you're like, babe, did that hurt?
I'm just
Babe,
like
did that
klutz,
hurt?
dude.
Babe, did that hurt?
Sometimes I turn around and I don't know where my limbs are going, and I'm just like,
What?
when you're just kind of like,
Oh my
lollygagging.
gosh, so my boyfriend
What?
does that to me all the time at night. Like he'll roll over and just like
That's different because
and
he's
roll
asleep.
and roll his arm over and smack me in the eye with
That's
it.
different.
And he is asleep. But it doesn't. It hurts more because he's asleep.
If you could hit an eye, you could hit a boob.
That's not what you were saying. You're saying you were walking around and have no control of your limbs.
On a really good day when I'm happy, I'm flinging my arms around.
I hate you. I fucking hate you.
Exactly. I'm walking like that.
You have no control of your arms. This is more ridiculous than anything Drop Dead Fred did. You saying that you get so happy that you can't control your arms is the most egregious thing you've ever fucking said on this podcast. I'm fucking infuriated, Kristen.
Listen to me.
I'm fucking pissed now.
I have control of my arms.
Now I'm mad because what you're saying is that you get so happy sometimes that you lose motor function and you will use turns and use that as an opportunity to smack your girlfriend. And specifically in the breast. So you're looking for the position that's going to hurt her the most. So you're getting information from other people. You disgust me.
No. Listen to me.
Watch out, Melissa.
No, she has no watching out to do.
I love that you looked at the camera to say that. Watch out, Melissa.
He has to. Like she's looking dead into the barrel of the camera. So it's not that I lose motor functions in all of my limbs. I just lessen the restrictions that I have in terms of my motor functions. Because I'm happy.
Hang on.
When they say you don't have a care in the world, you're not caring about your arms and your legs and your...
What does that mean, though, that you can't control your arms?
Dude,
what does that mean?
I can control my arms.
You're such a silly man. You are such a silly man.
I'm a silly man.
You are the silliest man I've ever met in my life.
I will take that as a compliment.
Oh.
Baddies, be more silly. Don't go around smacking boobs, but be more silly.
But control your limbs, please. Control your limbs.
Have you ever hit anyone in the dick, Nick?
That's great, but
hit anyone in the dick
accidentally
Nick.
And both purposely.
Accidentally for sure.
Yeah,
Interesting. I think I've hit you in the dick accidentally.
You should do that on purpose.
I know. I think with the patio.
With the
doors,
the refrigerator doors.
Yeah,
I've definitely
I think
hit
that's
you in the
definitely
dick.
happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I can believe that.
I've never hit anyone in the dick or balls on purpose.
Okay.
I am saving that for if I ever get mugged or attacked in some way.
What if you get mugged by a woman?
I mean, you can still knee someone in the vagina and it will hurt.
Oh.
I've been kneed in the vagina before.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it sucks.
I've heard of people kneading vaginas, but kneeing vaginas?
Kneading? I've never, like dough?
No, it was a joke. No, it was a play on words.
I thought kneading.
Need
okay,
it.
I thought kneading like kneading dough.
I mean, that would
do that to a vagina.
That would be an interesting theory. You should test that on the next girl you're with.
It's a weird porn. Don't do it, bro.
Okay. Cool. Look, here's one thing I got to get out of the way.
Say it. Get it out of the way.
You get so happy that you can't control your arms.
Still? Why are we on this?
Because you said it. You said it. Like it's a thing that happens to everybody.
I don't know. Like I get. I mean, I get it. I'm a little bit different. I kind of forget the size of my body sometimes.
What?
Thank you.
Like,
what another ridiculous thing. This episode is full of the most ridiculous things.
I forget like my own diameter, so I'm constantly like walking into like door frames or like couches. I'm constantly hurting myself.
You're clumsy.
Yeah, I'm clumsy.
You're
like
klutz.
I don't like realize that like I'm bigger than I am or smaller than I am, and I'm constantly walking into things. So
you like fit through a hole and you're like, oh, I didn't.
Like, have you ever
fit in that hole?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm growing out my mustache, so I
like
know.
A cat.
Yeah. So I know how wide my head is.
An analogy that might make sense. If you've ever pulled out of a parking spot and you're not necessarily familiar with the dimensions of your car, sometimes that happens with your own person.
With your own car? Sometimes you forget how big your car. Christian, that's because you're a bad driver that you forget how big your car is.
I'm also Asian. Yes,
how
this
many
is
cars
true.
have you totaled?
Well, 2.
Oh my God!
But listen,
Christian.
the first one, for sure, my fault. The second one, it died. It totaled in the sense that it wasn't in an accident, but like we bought it for cheap, used, and the insides were dying.
That's not really saying anything. I've been in 7 car accidents, none of which have been my fault. People really like to hit me.
Wow.
That's a different thing.
Maybe people really like you, and that's the only way they can get your number.
Don't know when to shut up, Nikki.
I think that's God's way of telling me to die.
God's trying. He's like, I don't understand.
I'll put a car over here.
Keep getting out of this.
I'll have her this time. But it's just car accidents. Like that's like every person has one way to die, and God like can't go outside of the parameters. I just wish I could send someone to shoot this bitch, but no. I have to do the car crash.
She has to die by car.
What have you done in life for this hypothetical to have come up that God wants you to die?
I was actually just talking to my sister about this.
I thought you were going to say, I was actually just talking to God about this.
My sister and I are so weird. We
That's
talk about
weird.
this stuff
Yeah.
all the time where we're
All
like,
the
how do
time.
you think we'll die?
What?
I think I'm going to die in a car crash.
Yeah.
think so?
I've been in 7 accidents. I better die in a car crash.
No.
Or not.
At this point, he's chalking up a different blueprint for you.
He's like, all right, that's clearly not
You're the
working.
roadrunner
Rockets,
to his
maybe?
Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was wild. But I do want to bring up one of your favorite characters from this movie, since this is a movie.
It is a movie podcast.
Mickey, is that his name?
Oh, God, I fucking hate. He's the worst part of the whole movie.
Well, I almost forgot Mickey was even in the movie. It's weird because he takes like a weird love potion off screen and is
Yeah.
like puppy dogs in love.
I
with-
just think his character was so unnecessary, and it like just forces the narrative that in order for a woman to be happy, like she has to be she has to have a man to make her happy. Like, and I don't like that. I don't like it. Like his character wasn't important. It wasn't pivotal like for the movie in itself. The movie would have been just the same without him.
Yeah.
Like he was
It just
so
seemed like
unnecessary.
3 guys were competing for her love.
Yeah.
Drop Dead Fred.
Yep.
Charles Schwab.
Yep.
And Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse.
Charles Schwab.
But
Charles Bronson, please. Charles Bronson, Mickey Rourke, and Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal, hands down, would have this girl's heart.
If Drop Dead
He
Fred was
has
played
mine.
by Shaquille O'Neal,
Shaq, I'll drop my number later.
He is
911.
the face of Ben Gay. And you know, Ben
he's
Gay's
been gay for a long time. Hey.
Whoa.
He's also the face of Papa John's, and
It looks like it.
Oh my
poor
god.
Papa John, like the guy is in a rough spot. That guy's claiming to eat 40 pizzas in 30 days. He says that the quality of pizza at
Shaq?
Papa John's. No, old Papa John.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
OG CEO of Papa John's. He hates Shaq though. He's always yelling about Shaq on his Twitter. God, I love Twitter.
Let's talk about Mickey.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna bring up one other cool thing, but I'll bring it
Go
up
ahead,
later.
go ahead,
No,
if you want.
Let's talk about Mickey Mouse. Mickey
His
Mouse
ears
was
are big.
a bassist character from the Walt Disney Company. Started in 1938.
How long are you going to go with this?
I guess I'll stop there. So you didn't? I liked Mickey. I thought Mickey was cool looking.
I just think it was so forced. Like no right-minded person, like first of all, would be like, "Hey, I haven't seen you in 20 years, and I recognize you from a quick glance."
That was crazy. They met at the courthouse.
Yeah.
He had just gotten a divorce after being separated for 2 years. And she had dropped a bunch of her papers. And of course, it's this guy, knight in shining armor, helping her pick up
Yeah.
all these dropped papers and saying, "Oh, Lizzie, I haven't seen you in 2
20
decades."
years,
Yeah,
but I
he's al-
instantly recognize you.
He's also just finalizing his divorce, so he's also on the market as well.
Yeah, and it's just I don't know. So like he instantly recognizes her after like 2 decades of not seeing her. He continues to stay on this date with her even though she's throwing glasses and spilling water all over herself and throwing pasta all over the place. And then not only that, but then he starts to go
He
crazy.
starts doing it too. Like her being
Like-
so off the wall makes him lose everything. And he's like,
Oh, who?
they get
Who?
physically thrown out of that restaurant. And then she's like, oh, I'm going to go back in and get my jacket. And it's like,
You know, some crazy people would think that's sweet, though. You accept me for who I am, even more so
trying
than
too
that.
hard. He's a simp.
Maybe he's just really heartbroken after the separation.
Maybe he just really needs to get his dick wet.
Probably. Objectively speaking, is he a handsome guy? Was he a
Yeah.
good-looking guy? He
you're
kind of
not
looked like
asking me.
Billy from Stranger Things.
He
to me.
kind of looked like a young version of Tim Roth.
I could see that.
Reservoir Dogs,
Teeth.
Tim Roth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you
Yeah,
like his
yeah.
Teeth. I
ear
didn't
piercings?
even notice his teeth.
I'm not a big fan of earrings. Like
At
in general,
all.
like even on girls, like I'm not a big fan. Yeah, I mean, I have my ears pierced, but it's not like a deal breaker for me. But like,
Gotcha. Follow-up question: with ears pierced, asymmetric with just one being pierced, or do you like the symmetry of both?
it
If
would
you
be
had
the
to choose.
symmetry of
the
both.
symmetry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
What about 2 for 1? 2 in 1.
sure. I think the way that I personally don't like it, but if you like it and you rock it and you're confident with it, then I'm not even gonna fucking notice.
That's true. It all comes down to confidence.
Yeah. The only reason why I even noticed Mickey's earring is because it reminded me of George Michael. He's the faith guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, Wham.
Yeah, Wham.
Yeah, Wham.
Yeah. Mickey was a weird character, though. He was climbing trees for this girl. He
It
was
was
a fallen head.
He was
Necessary.
like deep into that tree with a huge box. Was that the dress?
Yeah, it was her dress that
makes
she
sense.
left.
He was
us
trying so hard
at
to
the
get this
dinner.
dress back to her.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Hey, Mickey, it's really cool, dude. You don't have to do this." And
Yeah.
he's like, "No, I'll like climb over a fence for it." And they're like, "No, we can give it to her." He's like, "I want to give it to her."
Hey, Mickey, she's going through a hard time right now.
Oh yeah, because she's crazy, right?
And
Yeah.
he's like, "It's
Like-
cool. I'm also crazy. I just took 10 hits of meth." And everyone's like, "Oh, cool.
He was
You gotta
definitely-
get the fuck out of here, bro."
He was definitely a meth head
He was
at the
sweating.
beginning stages.
He was sweating at one point. He's had, everybody's got major problems. Everybody needs therapy in this film. Literally, everybody needs therapy in this film. And instead of getting therapy, they're all just enabling each other to fall deeper and deeper and deeper into their psychosis.
Not okay, maybe.
Everyone is helping
Maybe.
each
They're
other
just
drop
all
deeper and deeper into their
enablers,
psychosis.
is what they
Yes.
are.
Yes.
Yeah.
One thing that I want to talk about was a cool point you brought up, Nick Lowe, while we were watching, is that they did have an intention to remake this film. Most recent news I saw about it was from 2009, and that it had been shelved for a couple of different reasons. So I don't think it's going to be a problem, but they did want to remake it. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, yeah, that would have made me so happy. They did. I did hear rumors. Yeah, it had to have been back in like 2009, 2010-ish, that they were planning on remaking this movie and casting Russell Brand as Drop Dead Fred, which I just
would have
think
been great.
so perfect, like so dead on.
Just like when he redid Arthur, he did a really good job as in Arthur. I think he would have done a good job. Who would you cast as Liz?
I said it before, Anna Kendrick.
I
for
think
sure.
Anna Kendrick
Kendrick
would
could
have
be a
been
good
a
Liz.
phenomenal
Yeah.
choice.
Especially after Mr. Right and
yeah, I was gonna say if she just channels her like Mr. Rightness.
I think that quirky of a girl plays better than this quirky of a girl. And maybe that quirky of a girl is very Christina Ricci, like Beetlejuice, very 90s weird girl. Where now the 2000 teens weird girl is like a Zooey Deschanel quirky,
I hate that
funky
quirky.
kind of, which well,
a lot of people have gotten tired of Zooey Deschanel.
God, that
I'm
quirky
completely
is so
fine with
annoying.
it. Did
She
you
is
like?
the worst part of New Girl.
what
Really?
that's her show.
Yeah, but then more and more, it's become more about a lot of the other characters. They start
don't
shining
watch
more.
any
You
of it.
should actually watch
Like
it.
the relationships that are built on it are really great. Like I think Winston is the best character in that entire show.
For a long time, he was the unsung hero of that show.
He's the best character.
That actor, Lamorne Morris, he's so funny. So fucking funny.
I love him. I love his relationship with his cat Ferguson.
Yes.
It's the cat thing.
It's a good show.
Okay, I'll
should
take
watch
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I just think that was that era of Weird Girl, and I think our era of Weird Girl, this movie would have been served well to have an Anna Kendrick.
Yeah.
The mother, who do we think would be a good mother? Maybe like a Helen Mirren.
Angelica Houston.
Ooh,
Angela
Houston.
Lansbury.
She's too old. She'd be grandma.
That'd be hella old, and she's black.
That's fine.
She's black.
No, not
It's 2020. There's a lot of possibilities.
Like,
that
Angelica Houston or
who's a tough mom.
or you know what? If you age Charlize Theron a little bit,
I can see Charlize Theron playing that.
yeah.
She
seems like a type
she
of-
could be. She can be really cold if she wants to be.
Yeah.
And I think like she could give enough just of that like deadness off, like channel like Monster a little bit. You know, like just have like that
Yeah,
dead
yeah.
coldness. She
That's
would
good.
be so good.
That's good.
Who do you think would play Charles?
Rob Lowe.
Any douchebag. Yeah,
Rob Lowe
No,
is
he's
a
too
little
old.
for Amy
He's too
Adams,
old.
but
Anna Kendrick?
that is
Anna Kendrick.
What did I say?
Amy Adams.
I like Amy
you
Adams.
Would also
really
be really
want
good.
her to be
I
Amy
want
Adams.
Amy Adams to be.
Yeah.
I like him, but Amy Adams is a little too old to be that girl.
A good Charles. Ryan Reynolds.
He's
No,
too,
he's too likable.
He's too good looking.
He's too likable, too good looking.
I'm thinking maybe like a Bradley Coops.
maybe a Bradley Cooper.
I think a Bradley Cooper
Bradley Cooper would
because he
be
could play
good.
a good like asshole.
Yeah, like in
guy.
He's Just Not That Into You.
Exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah. Bradley Cooper would be good.
And then
Matthew McConaughey?
Mickey, who plays Mickey?
Dave Franco.
Oh,
Yes. Oh my God.
Beautiful.
Nail on the
Beautiful.
head. I'm so proud of you
And
right
Carrie
now.
Fisher
Thank you,
is
thank
played
you.
by Carrie Fisher.
CGI Carrie Fisher
CGI
would
Carrie
still be
Fisher.
Hologram
in the
Carrie
2021 rendition.
And we don't have
of
to
Drop Dead
change
Fred.
any of her lines. We just keep her
like
from.
cut and paste. Cut and paste those scenes. In fact,
Yeah.
we'll keep the same scenes. We'll cut and paste the new actors' faces onto the old scenes, and then that's how we'll do it.
Or we can use Carrie Fisher's daughter.
No,
Hey,
I
it's
want real
possible.
Carrie Fisher.
No, like how Ice Cube's son played Ice Cube in Straight Outta Compton. It's possible.
You know how many auditions they made his son do?
How many?
Like,
0.
Like
huh?
no, like 10 auditions. They made it really difficult for him. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, but the whole time they knew they were gonna give it to him,
Not
right?
the
Like,
whole time.
They had, dude.
The thing is,
Ice Cube was the executive producer for that film.
so do you think
Why
that he
wouldn't
would?
he pick his son?
Well, I'm pretty sure like everyone else would be like, don't give it too easily. Let's actually make him go through these auditions so that the outside world doesn't perceive it as.
But I think even in all those auditions, even in the first one, they're all sitting around. They're like, I mean, we know what's gonna happen here, right, guys?
what's the word for it when you give positions of power? Nepotism. Yes. People didn't want it to be too
Obvious.
obvious, so like give him 10 auditions.
Nicole, how do you feel about Ice Cube's son playing himself in Straight Outta Compton?
Nepotism.
There's a good. There you go.
It's possible. But if there were
Word
10
right from the horse's
auditions,
mouth.
give him a hard time before we give it to him, right?
I honestly don't think people would have cared, though. I don't think they would have given a fuck. They would have been like, yeah, that seems right.
It looks like him. He probably knows his dad way more than a random ass person
Yeah,
does.
he can channel his mannerisms. Like,
He raised me.
yeah.
I look like him, for God's sake.
No, he doesn't even look like.
Nah, he looks like him.
I don't see
He
it.
looks like him.
I think.
I
Did
never
you watch
saw
it with?
Straight Outta Compton. I wanted to, though. I love Eazy-E. He's like one of my favorite rappers.
Then don't watch it because they blame everything on Eazy-E.
Is it because he's dead? What a cop out.
Pretty much.
It's kind of like the
honestly,
Temptations movie, like how they
blame
blamed everything on
David-
Eddie Griffin or
David
David.
Ruffin. Eddie Griffin, the comedian.
I don't
Eddie
know why
Griffin.
I was thinking of Eddie Griffin. David Ruffin, yes.
The Temptations movie, the long one, the one that's like 6 hours long. Is that the one you're talking about?
Is it 6 hours?
It's like
the
it was
one
like a
straight
mini
to
series.
TV.
Yeah, it was like a mini series.
Exactly.
That one kind
Dreamgirls?
of like no, it was about the Temptations.
He's just putting out biographical movies about Motown groups.
Kind of like records.
Oh, Cadillac Records.
No, I do like those movies. I don't think Temptations blames it all on David Ruffin. I think they
Ike and
blame
Tina.
it just on the fact of Motown disintegrating. And then we were talking about what other movie?
Are you just pointing at people now?
And you.
I do want to bring up, I want to go back to the movie real quick. The scene where we see all of the other imaginary friends.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is a very pivotal scene in this entire movie
Yeah.
because that grounds this kooky reality even more.
That made me. I will say this. That made me like Fred a little bit more because clearly Fred wasn't the craziest, kookiest.
Yeah.
Like I would not.
Velcro head.
I would not want to watch an entire movie of the orange one, the one with the bangs and the straight up hair, the one with the wings.
Straight Outta Hell or Go to Hell Gary, something like that. I
Do
can't
they
remember
say-
his name.
Do they all
They
have
all have
names?
names?
They all have names. Yeah, so there was Velcro Head,
Yeah.
which was
The
his
guy with the-
name.
yeah.
And
I
then
heard
I
that
think it was I think it's Get Outta Hell Gary or something like that.
Let's
Was
go to
the
the
guy
Googles.
with the red hair.
They were all very scary. This
Yeah.
was one kill away
and then
from being a
Namby
horror
Pamby
movie.
was the fairy girl.
Mamby Pam.
Yeah, Mamby Pamby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was a very awesome scene.
Yeah, I like it too because like so I've done some research on like imaginary friend folklore, and a lot of it is that in like Greek and Roman mythology, their imaginary friends are more like fairies, so they're protectors of children,
so
and they can
interesting.
only be seen by children, and only if the fairies want to be seen by the children, kind of thing. And then it's the same thing in Romanian culture, which they're called Zana, and like again, they're protectors, and they can only be seen by children, and they are very specific on who they allow to be like to see them, kind of thing. It's crazy.
That's really cool. I never knew that.
Yeah.
It dates all the way back to Greek and Roman mythology.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because, and not like this makes it any more accurate, but the TV show Supernatural, they do an episode on Xana.
That's cool.
And like it's actually relatively accurate from all of the folklore that I dug up. Like it's insane.
They did their research.
Yeah, they clearly did their research. It was really, really cool.
So do you think when they were making Drop Dead Fred that they kind of took a look at that folklore and they're like, it's probably appropriate?
I don't know if they took a look at that folklore, or maybe it was a story that was handed down like over like generations, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because like that's a weird thing to put into a movie that
so
you
abstract.
just think of. Yeah. Especially because it's already out there in the universe.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing. So like it's already like on paper, like written down, like no one's going to be like, oh yeah, that's a great idea that I just came up with like on my own. Like it's something that they heard, like they're a friend of a friend of a friend or something like that.
Who was your favorite of those other imaginary friends, would you say?
Oh, I really liked Velcro Head.
He was scary.
I liked him because I
terrifying.
liked the thought of being able to throw things at his head and they would stay on.
That's an interesting concept.
Like,
I did
especially if
like
you're
how
a kid.
I did like how he could Mr. Potato Head his face and like reconstruct his face differently.
Yeah. I liked the fat imaginary friend that no one liked. Because
Oh, with the balloon? I can't remember
no
his
one
name.
liked
I
his
think-
humor.
Yeah.
But that scene was very important because it did build this community for imaginary friends. Drop Dead Fred is the way that he is, kooky and bananas, because there are other people like him, and that's the norm in their community.
Yeah, because during when we were watching that scene, I can't remember if it was you or Alejandro where you guys were like, that's brilliant, where it's like it made the universe so much
it completes
bigger.
it all out.
I never thought of it like that because I've seen this movie so many times, and when I first saw it, I was, 15 or 16. So I was just like, 25. Oh yeah, imaginary friends have other coworkers. That's how I thought of it. Like those are his coworkers.
That's a good way to perceive it.
Yeah.
It's like when Beetlejuice goes to the underworld and there's all those other...
exactly.
Everyone loves seeing that. Everyone loves seeing those kind of things. Like it's kind of a behind the scenes. Like, oh, this is a job. It's kind of like when you meet in Big Mouth. I don't know if you watch Big Mouth.
Yeah, I love Big
Mouth. There are
Mouth.
other hormone monsters.
Yeah.
And that's like, oh fuck, this
The
opens up a
hormone
whole
monstrous.
nother world.
There's actually only 3, really.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the last scene before we do sign off.
Sure.
The second to last scene when Phoebe Cates does somehow combine with Drop Dead Fred, and
Then they disappear.
And they disappear.
Yeah.
I want to bring this up because it shows us how she perceives the world, and she kind of comes to this moment of self-realization. She knows that she's fucked up, not only because of her mother, but it's kind of like a self-acceptance type of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so the way that I see it anyway is that these are obstacles that she has to overcome in order to grow as a person, essentially, because she's very like emotionally stifled. You can see it in the way she dresses in the beginning of the movie. Like everything is
Up to the neck.
like up to her neck, like overdone. Like she's like very like. She dresses like a little girl.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
like
and I
she's
said that
very
right off the bat.
she's very protective of herself. Like she doesn't show anything revealing, nothing's tight. Her hair is really long, like past her boobs without it being done. So she has been emotionally suppressed like her entire life. And so when her and Fred are taken into like how her mother's house, this is how I think of it anyway. I don't know if this is accurate, but how she views her mother's house is it's cold, it's lonely, it's more like a museum. You can't touch anything.
I did think that was really interesting when she goes in there.
Yeah.
It's all velvet roped off.
Yeah, like you can't
'Cause that's
touch
how it was.
anything. That's not a place for children. And her
No.
mother made it very
Very clear.
apparent.
Yeah.
Like this is not a
Which is
home
where
for
Drop
children.
Dead Fred came in. Like he balanced out that, that life of imbalance.
Yeah.
During that scene, there was one of Alejandro's favorite lines. Drop Dead Fred is unable to go up the stairs, and so he whispers into Phoebe Cates' ears, saying,
We need a tree.
"We need a tree."
Such a... of all the things to ask for to help you get up flat stairs, a tree? And she doesn't even question. She's like, we need a tree? I gotcha.
Got you.
And she starts thinking real hard.
Professor X Xavier's this tree out of the ground.
This turned into a Marvel movie quick. and a tree came out of nowhere.
And they're like, perfect. And they like just hop on the tree and walk right up to the top of the stairs.
I wonder how much that tree special effect was worth. How much it cost.
$600,000.
I believe it, dude. In
I bet you
1991.
they sank a real houseboat. That's where most of that money went.
Dude, they fucking sank a houseboat.
Yeah.
Actually, the money didn't cost in sinking it. The money cost in having to pay the cleanup cost for sinking it. All the fines from like sinking
All right,
a
get
boat.
the boat out of the river.
Damn, they actually didn't plan on it at all. It just happened, and they had the cameras rolling, and they're like, "I guess we'll keep that in the film."
Okay.
But yeah, so even before that moment, she had to defeat Charles, who was like, get in the car with me, I'll take you away.
Uh-huh.
And so she had to defeat him, and then she had,
That's a good way to put it. These are battles
did.
to be won.
So in movies where children
finish him.
Exactly.
in movies where children have bad lives and they create these invisible, semi-invisible made-up creatures, I'm thinking a lot of another movie that we did that we didn't release, Cat in the Hat.
Cat in the Hat.
Who do you think wins in a fight, Cat in the Hat or Drop Dead Fred?
Oh, fuck, dude.
Ooh.
Cat in the Hat. Cat in the Hat
Cat in
has
the Hat.
minions and boxes.
But
and
Drop
is-
Dead Fred has like five buddies.
Yeah, but they're probably busy with their
But the Cat in
kids.
the Hat also has I wouldn't say magical powers, but close to magical powers. He pulls things out of his hat. He's able to pull things out of thin air. Drop Dead Fred can't do that.
I guess Drop Dead Fred doesn't make
No,
things
he
appear.
Yeah.
huh?
could just withstand
He
a
just-
lot
he-
of pain.
Yeah, and he can manipulate things, right? So
Yeah.
he can put dog shit all over the place. And
Yeah,
stuff.
but also okay, so actually in the podcast, the How Did This Get Made, this was actually an argument that they had where it was like Lizzie was the one who was physically doing all of these things, or was it all of a sudden these things happened,
It had
type
to-
of thing?
Okay,
But it was Lizzie. Lizzie was obviously doing it, but she was just third party out of it.
maybe she was, because when she interacts with the mud pies, we see mud on her hands.
Yeah.
Because she's doing it.
Yeah,
But
with Fred
But when the dog poop happens, she doesn't have poop on her shoes.
or on her feet. Yeah.
Yeah. She's not wearing shoes to rub it into the thing. So something is manipulating the real world.
Because there's never a scene where you see something floating by itself.
Yeah.
No, but you do see her fighting the force of the
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all you see.
And even in the Catalina wine mixer, where
I love it.
Please
where
keep going to that.
the guy's toga falls off.
Yeah,
And
we get
he-
it, dude.
Yeah,
You're ripped.
And Drop Dead Fred was like, "You did it. You have the grape," and she had the grape in her hand,
That's
so she's the one
right.
that's
This
doing it.
is an even deeper observation
Yeah.
than maybe we were really meant to see. Is she actually just schizophrenic and she's doing all
Yeah.
this on her own?
It's like Pinocchio's revenge.
Yes, there might be that weird unrevealed twist that it's open-ended.
I think she's doing it. She has
Yeah,
to be
she
doing
has
it.
to be doing it,
But-
Because everything else in the world is fairly real.
Not to shit on these folklores or be a Debbie Downer or whatever, but there's no
They're
such
for sure not real.
there's no such thing as imaginary friends.
Don't believe
So,
in fairies. I don't believe in fairies. I don't believe in fairies.
Clap your hands.
What's that from?
I don't believe in fairy. It's from Fairly Odd Parents, dude, right?
It's from Hook.
It's from Peter
Oh!
Pan.
Well, the clap your hands part is from Hook.
I'm stupid.
Peter Pan.
I'm
Yeah.
stupid.
Hook. Hook.
Why
Panning.
Hook.
did
Hook.
Panning.
Hook.
Panning.
Hook.
Phoebe Cates? I'm sorry to interrupt your hook pan thing. Why did Phoebe Cates kiss Drop Dead Fred? Why did Drop Dead Fred say,
Okay.
all you have to do
Okay,
is
okay.
kiss me?
Of all the cringy things he does to women, the most cringiest thing he does in this entire movie is he looks at her and is like, "You have to kiss me and say my name,
Drop Dead Fred.
and then I'll disappear."
Okay, I didn't think these things were creepy until you guys said something. Because in my head, I was just like, she's kissing her friend goodbye. And now you guys are like,
kiss your friends goodbye?
That was not like that. You don't kiss your friends
if
goodbye.
you're never going to see your friend again and you know that, then yeah, I would
I still
probably
wouldn't
kiss
kiss
you.
him like that.
Really? No.
That was a passionate kiss.
I'd give an anaconda hug easily.
What is that like with
I
your
would-
wiener? is that a hug with your
Come
wiener? You take your wiener out and you wrap it around their throat until they lose consciousness.
I love you.
Someone take a picture
Poor
of this
Melissa.
I don't anaconda hug her.
moment. He steamrolls her.
I steamroll the shit out of her. And not the disgusting shit steamroll.
Oh,
No, because I don't know. I never thought of it sexually
there is
or
a
with
clear
sexual
sexual
tension.
tension. There is a clear sexual
and
tension.
I still
Sex tension.
am really unhappy that you guys pointed that
I'm
out.
sure
because
that you're
I get
unhappy.
it. I get it. I do.
You
I
get
get
it.
it. I see it now.
Baby,
but like
they were-
I've been watching it for so long and looking at it now, I'm like, fuck yeah, no, you're right.
It's
You
possible to
fucking
fall in
right.
love with the childhood friend. Like I
Yeah.
said, he was checking off all the checks on the list of
And he
being,
was the only one that actually cared about her
he
happiness.
knew her. He cared
Yeah.
about her happiness.
Yeah.
Even if it meant that he would disappear forever, he wanted her to be happy.
I think that's a true love.
That's
I think,
a true
Yeah.
I think we've
love.
all been in a position where we care for somebody so much and we understand that like, well, what's important is their happiness and what they
Yes.
and what they do, and that's all Drop Dead Fred cared about
Yes.
was Liz's happiness. And at the end of the day, he knew that her happiness meant he couldn't be around, and so
Exactly.
he wanted to get his one last little sick kick in, makes her kiss him, and then he disappears. I don't.
Makes her kiss him.
He made her
Sexually
He didn't need
assaulted
to.
her.
She might
He
have
did it.
wanted to.
What is he, Mr. Mixoplex, where she has to say his name backwards or some shit like this?
no, all she had to do was kiss him and say goodbye.
That's weird. If I was on a first date with a girl and I was like, you
It's
know,
not
how
a
you-
first date. They've known each other. She's known him.
it
years.
doesn't matter. If I was with a girl and I was like, you know
I
how
don't
you get rid of
Actually,
me?
if
You kiss me.
If you know what, come to think about it, if like if I had like a weird Uncle Gary or whatever, and he was like, I've known him my whole life, and then as I get older, just kiss me and say my name and I'll leave. I'd be like,
Like,
okay,
no,
bye,
no,
Uncle
like,
Gary.
Imagine having a fun uncle that you had as a little girl and you did some crazy cool things, and then you move away and you come back, you see him 20 years later, and then like all of a sudden he's like, you got to kiss me to make me leave.
I mean, this is no. First of all, I don't want.
No,
I don't think
no.
uncles should be involved in this situation at all.
No.
There's
I am
no
an
kissing
uncle.
No,
uncles.
you're
dude.
not ruining this movie.
No, but I do want to say this is a magical being. Let's say he's maybe 35, 40.
Don't touch that.
In this. And
What is it?
it holds all of my SD cards. He's probably 35, 40.
STDs?
My STD
He
cards?
keeps
What does
his-
that mean?
He keeps his STDs in there,
SD cards. That's where I
like
keep.
in Jurassic Park, how they keep the DNA.
I'm like a fucking child.
I'm sorry.
Like,
Anyways, what were you saying?
what's this? There's white things in the air. What's this?
Wow.
What are you saying now?
My ADD is kicking in, guys.
It
Like, we
is.
got to wrap it up.
We got to wrap it up. Or we are pretty deep
7
into
hours
this.
in now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've aged quite a bit. All in all,
Oh my gosh, we've been hanging out for 7 hours today.
we
Oh,
have
God.
been.
We got to end this shit
Fucking
soon,
get me
then.
out of here.
All right, we'll get you out of here. All I want to say is that I think there was a romantic relationship going on.
I agree. I 100%
but I don't
agree.
think it was creepy. If we were to
I
watch it
disagree.
again,
I think it was.
No, I guess like you like making me come out of my comfort zone, which is good because it's a challenge. Like obviously I don't want to agree with, but looking at it, like no, there's some underlying
I would even say overt romantic
I don't think
relations.
it's overt though.
Look how close there are some very close times when they're talking and they're like
It was the 90s. People were
no
different.
one close talkers do not get that close unless you're trying to get a smooch in. Like they were
they were looking at each other.
Agree
This
to
is
disagree. I say underlying, you can say overt. It's fine.
be the judge of it. I'm going to try something out.
You're gonna get as close as possible.
But this
to
is
me
how
and see-
Phoebe Cates. No, I'm not using you. I'm going to use my mic as an example. This is how Phoebe Cates was looking at Drop Dead Fred. And if I'm wrong, then fuck me, right?
No, we won't.
And then like she put her head in, and her lips got closer, and like it was just, I don't know. I'm not a short girl in love with a tall man, so I can't really play it.
I don't know.
Watch the scene again. There is some
I don't
body.
want to.
I wouldn't say it's any sexual tension, but there is romanticism involved. And I'm not saying that it's a bad part of this movie, but
No, but that makes it worse then, because then she's constantly being thrown at men as to say that the only way a woman can be complete is to have a man complete her. Like that's
This
so
movie's from
fucking
1991.
frustrating.
That's exactly what they're saying.
it's possible.
This movie's from 91. That is exactly
No,
what they're saying.
I'm gonna stay ignorant to it. And Fred was the only pure man in this whole movie.
I don't disagree, but I think part of being the complete man is also kind of being a scummy guy sometimes.
I don't like that narrative. I don't like it. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying I don't like it.
That's how you know it's true. Best person on set award?
Exactly. That's where I was going to go.
BPS.
B-Pause. I'm going to give it to,
Baby Lizzie.
yeah, probably Baby Liz.
Baby Liz.
Baby Liz. She was acting up a storm, probably 4
She
years
was
old.
perfect.
really, really doing well in this on this kooky set on Prince's soundstage, given a weird script. I think that she was acting up a storm.
She was so perfect.
She definitely was. Her name is Ashley Pendleton.
Ashley
Ashley
Pendleton.
Pendleton. Peldon.
I added a extra syllable. Peldon.
Shout out Ashley Peldon. You did a great fucking
Is that
job.
also your BPOS?
Yeah, that's my BPOS.
My BPOS is the late great Carrie Fish, bro. Carrie Fish kills.
The scene where she thinks she's beating up Fred
Yeah,
is so fucking good.
She's like,
She's a good friend. Not only did
Yeah.
her best friend sink her own house ship,
and she was cool with it.
she was cool with it, and she tried so hard to believe what Phoebe Cates was seeing.
Do you think maybe Carrie Fish had an invisible friend, and that's why she understood?
Maybe as a kid, and that's a sequel. That's a.
Well, if she had been doing drugs,
She definitely had a bunch
you
of
should definitely
invisible
had a
friends.
few.
You had a lot
friends.
of invisible friends and a lot of visible friends that sold you drugs.
That's right. Hey guys, my name's Alejandro, and you can follow me on Instagram at call_me_Jesus.
My name is Christian. You can follow me on Instagram at Christian Has Asthma.
And my name is Nick Lowe. You can follow me on Instagram at callmenicole.
And you can also follow the podcast at
ICBTB podcast. We want to thank you cats out there that are still listening this far.
We also want to thank the dogs that are listening,
and you fish.
And the birds.
and the frogs,
And the snails.
and the turtles,
That's right.
Snakes.
rabbits,
Slugs.
Parrots.
And owls.
dolphins.
All the animals.
Piggies.
Piggies. We want to thank the piggies out there. Really,
The
though,
piggies.
Nick Lowe, thank you very much.
We didn't go through over any of the corrections.
Shit.
Next time you're here, we'll do that
Next
episode.
time. Next time. Next time.
Have to have you back.
I'm a terrible corrections department.
You do
I
suck.
didn't even give you any corrections.
It's because we're not wrong. That's why.
They'll
Thanks so
send
much,
it to
baddies.
us. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
That bad.